Started. So hello everybody, this is Rick Wilson with Martin Associates. Hope everybody's staying safe and healthy out there. Thanks for taking your time today to join us. So our presentation today is Credit Hound by Draycir. So basically an easy to use collection management system that integrates right with your Sage 100 system. And it's presented by Richard Haywood today. Before we start with the meeting, got a few housekeeping items. The presentation is being recorded, so we'll be following up probably tomorrow with emails with links and information to follow up with your account manager at Martin Associates on Credit Hound. And then also, if you've got questions, we're going to wait till the end and answer those then. So go ahead and add them to the Zoom chat area, and then we'll answer all those when we finish. So I think that's it. Richard, it's all yours. Take it away.
That's great. Thanks very much, Rick. Thanks for having me present today to your customers. So my name is Richard Haywood. I work as a Global Alliance Manager for Draycir. And Draycir are the developer at the ISV and creators of the Credit Hound application for Sage 100. So just a bit of a background and introduction to us as a company. We've been around actually since 2002. Our specialities are actually around collections as well as document distribution and document management software for Sage. And yeah, we've been working with Sage since 2002. Myself, working with Draycir for 10 years, so I've been working with the channel for quite some time now, working with various businesses, running Sage 50 through to Sage 100 onwards. So I've experienced with working with various different companies and all facets of their day-to-day processes, because that's what Draycir is really about. It's about improving business tasks beyond your core finance offering. So we have, over those years, received over 18 awards. We actually work, with your partner to offer the Draycir services. So, any questions, do get in touch with your representative, Betsy or Rick, and so on. We have over 10,000 organisations using the software worldwide, so it's really well respected, well used, and well supported by our partners as well, and we're really grateful to be working with you. So our solution, Credit Hound, the main aim is to help businesses like yourselves to have your process in place to ensure that you are cash positive. You're doing everything you can to ensure that money is coming into your account and you're getting paid on time. Whether you're a small business working locally with smaller businesses, or you're working as a small business or medium business working with the large corporates, what you find with working with perhaps the large corporates is they have pretty rigid structures in place, and it's sometimes quite hard to get in touch with the right person and making sure that you're going to get paid on time. So it's really important, more than ever, especially now, is that you've got your processes in place to make sure you're doing everything you can do to get the money that is owed to you. Because that's what you're doing. You're providing them a service, you're providing them goods, and it almost seems crazy that they're not paying you on time for those services. You may not be in a position to stop that service from continuing. You may be very reliant on doing business with that company. So you don't want to jeopardize that. So it's really important that you've got a system in place that is going to remind and chase the customer in the right way. So when we talk about Credit Hound, we aren't always talking about full-on automation. There might be some customers that you don't want to fully automate for, and some you most definitely do. So what we find is over 25% of payments are made late to a business like yourself. So what are the steps that you can do to do that? Well, that's the purpose of today's demonstration. We're going to go through some different scenarios for you to make sure that you're doing everything you can do, and also see how easy it is to work and get up and running with the products as well. Now, whether you have a person that's doing this as a full-time job or full-time job role, credit control collections, that is, or whether you've got someone in part-time or just do it as part of one of their many tasks. If you're a person that does credit control or collections as part of one of your many tasks, if you become very busy or get stuck on one particular project, that just means collections isn't going to get done. And what does that mean? Well, that just means that your company's cash flow is going to reduce. And a lot of businesses right now are having to borrow money from a bank, which they're having to pay the privilege to borrow that money, where you can invest in a very cost-effective piece of software that's going to alleviate and save you time, make sure you do get paid on time, and save you having to borrow money from your bank to keep your cash liquid. So for those businesses that haven't got a process or a system in place, like Credit Hound, credit control, whether you're in the UK, whether you work in Europe or the US and North America, credit control's done the same. And it's done the same even in 2020 and more than likely 2021, where businesses will go run into Sage, create an aged debtors report on a Monday, and they'll, if they're more advanced, they might be exporting to Excel, but they'll manually go through line by line who they need to chase, when they need to chase, and so on. They're also having to check what money's coming into the bank, and what's been allocated, receipted into Sage, and cross-check. These are all tasks that you don't need to be doing anymore. Working out who you should be chasing and then having to spend time generating emails to these customers. Again, that's something that we can automate. Yes, like I said earlier, there may be some customers you wouldn't want to send an automated email to, but that's fine. We can exclude them from an automation. So that means you've got more time to be on the phone speaking to those customers that do react better to a telephone call rather than those that you need to be chasing. One thing I'll show in the demonstration today is the ability to actually send out a reminder, not just after they become due for payment, past due. That's pre-2020. Let's be modern. Let's do things proactive. Why don't we send an email 5, 10, maybe 15 days in advance to customers that have got invoices coming up for payment? Because the benefit of doing that is A, you being proactive. B, if they turn around and say, well, we've not received the invoice, or C, we've received the invoice, but there's a problem with the service, or we never received the goods, you've just bought yourself 10, 15 days to deal with that query and make sure you get paid on time. So, whether you're a business that deals with a lot of queries, whether you're a business that you don't have a lot of queries, but actually you've got customers that never pay on time, by being proactive, sending reminders out, these reminders are very friendly, by the way, and completely customizable. But by just doing that one function, you're going to see a huge uplift in your productivity and results for sure. So it's one central system where you can see all your transactions, you can see your customer data, and you can see all the notes and actions that you took to try and get that money in. So it's like a clear audit trail, like all the steps you've done to go and chase each payment. So that's really, really important. So let's provide you with some automation. Let's allow you to be proactive. Credit Hound has probably got one of the quickest return on investments to any piece of software right now. We're all fed up of having customers pay late, exceeding their payment terms. Let's move away from printing off aged debtors reports and having to manually go through them. Because again, if you're off, maybe someone else you'd share this job role with, they're not going to be able to see clearly what steps you've taken to go and chase that money in. We're going to give you that dashboard and that central system to use and react with. So one of the huge benefits of Credit Hound is, the full product name actually is Credit Hound Cloud. It's a full cloud solution. If you're wondering what a cloud solution is, well, it's a product that you access via a web browser, which means that I'm sat here at home right now, and I can go onto a web browser, log into Credit Hound Cloud. I don't have to worry about connecting to the work network, dialing in, or anything like that. You literally log in like you do to Facebook. You log in, you're seeing the data, and you're connected. It's all up-to-date live information. It connects directly to your Sage 100 system. It's wizard-driven setup, so you'll be up and running really quick. In terms of the next steps from that, so once it's set up, then you can look to navigate around the software straight away. You can look to then automatically write letters and emails. You have a clear chase audit history, as I've mentioned. And there's no need to rekey any information from Sage, So what we're going to provide you is with the automated payment reminders, and they can be automated emails, or you can send ad hoc emails. So if there's a particular customer that you wouldn't send an automated one, but actually you want to then go into a customer account, select the invoices you want to chase, you can do that within Credit Hound as well. And then for those customers where maybe there is a query or a dispute, you can log that in Credit Hound. And what that means is that particular invoice that's been logged in dispute won't automatically get chased, because you're not going to want to chase a customer for payment if that invoice is in query or in dispute, So Credit Hound takes care of that too. So by having all these steps, like I said once before, we want to allow you to be proactive. We can chase overdue payments. We can be proactive and by sending reminders prior to due dates too. So I'm going to go through the dashboard in the live demonstration just a second. So I'm just going to jump to the next slide here. So, whether you're a business with a 5 million turnover, whether you're small or whether you're much larger, please do take advantage of the ROI calculator and put in your figures. It's all private. Put in your figures and work out what the cost benefits of to you when you switch to using Credit Hound. So do take some time to make a note of this web address and see how much you can save. Okay, so let's take a quick look at Credit Hound in action. So already we're connected up to Sage, and I've logged into Credit Hound. Like I said, it's just a web address logged in with your own login. I've got my demo company here, and the first thing you're going to see is your dashboard. Okay. The good thing about this software being cloud-based and the fact that we've got so many years of working with customers like yourselves is it's all really intuitive. So what I've loaded up here is a tour of the software. So what it's going to do, step by step, it's going to take you through all the different screens, all the different functions, and all the things that you can do with it. So I'm not going to go through every single one today, but just to let you know that there's a built-in tour that will help you train up on the software itself. Of course, any more advanced training or any requirements you have, then by all means you get in touch with your sales representative, and they can arrange a time either with themselves or one of their staff to run through anything in more detail. But hopefully you'll see from today's presentation is it's really self-intuitive. So on the dashboard, we're looking at total debt on the ledger, and we're only looking at posted invoices, by the way, just to make it really clear. We can see what's not due yet, what's overdue, what's logged in dispute, and what's currently sat in Sage but it's not actually being allocated against specific accounts and transactions specifically. We're also going to show you who's paying the last 7 days. So I'm ashamed to say that nobody's paid me in the last 7 days, so that's not a good start, I know, but no doubt you'll have some payments when you're once connected, for sure. Who has my money? Well, this is just going to give you the top accounts by turnover, just so you can keep a closer eye on them. Obviously, if you want to see your full list of customers, that's when we're going to go to the customer list there. Now, you can see actually as a whole what's overdue, what's not due. Now, when I click overdue, that will take me to a filtered list on my customer screen with all accounts with overdue balances on them, as we can see here. Whilst we're in the customer list screen, again, all your customers there, we can actually see which customers are active and on stop, balance, credit limit, due and overdue. Some disputed on that account we can see there. Now the last final column is a way of us controlling who gets the automated emails and who doesn't. So let's say that customer there and that customer there, I would rather chase them manually. That's how we deselect them from that. So it's super easy. If you need to do any filtering or just want to get this data out to Excel for whatever reason, you can do that right from within the app. Okay. So going back to the dashboard for a second, there's actually some alerts here, which is telling me that there's some customer email issues. Because we're sending out the emails from Credit Hound, it'll actually warn you whether the customer has valid email addresses or not. Okay, so that's really, really cool and really useful, because that just means you can update the contact in here. Likewise, because we're sending the emails out of Credit Hound, if anyone responds, that's all logged and will feed this back to you in your incoming email section here. So that helps you to keep on track of a busy mailbox, of your personal mailbox, that is. So this helps to centralize it. So if we go back and we take a quick look out to the customers and we go and pick on a customer, what should we go for? Too much choice here, haven't I? There is one particular customer I want to look for. Let's see if we can find them. Yeah, this one here. Okay. So within the actual customer account, Future Homes Real Estate, we can see all the invoices that are currently outstanding. Obviously, if you want to see all of them, you can just filter on those, just so you can get a bigger picture of that. But we're only interested in outstanding for today. Now, you can see against each invoice when we're going to send the next email. So it's already been scheduled, in fact. Okay, so it will tell you. Obviously, your contacts for this account's here. You can see this customer is actually a UK-based customer, but I can always see that currency in its base currency in USD. And against this account, so far, I've sent one automated email out to them already. So we can expand that out here. And again, this letter, or this template, I should say, is customizable by yourself. Okay, so anything like here, including resending, you can do that straight from there. So if, for example, we haven't got anything scheduled just yet for these invoices because one of my automations hasn't covered them, what I can do is send them a quick email. So it's super easy, send an email. What email template do I want to be using? There's a range of these I've got available right now. So it could be strong overdue. Why am I going to use strong overdue? Because they were actually 39 days past their due date. So 69 days from invoice date. It's pretty bad, actually. Now, if I want to bring some extra data through, including, I've already doing it. I'm doing transaction reference, due date, and the outstanding amount. If there's some other fields you wanted to bring through, you could do it. You want to change the email text, bold, italics. Again, you're in control of that. If you want to preview it beforehand, sure. Otherwise, just send it. Now, if you want to send it to multiple recipients, yeah, you can do that. If you want to CC or BCC, that's fine too. And we'll just send that out. So that's sending the email. Now we'll confirm whether it's been delivered or not straight from in the web screen. So it's currently saying sending. That'll change status once it's been sent, okay, and delivered. So that again helps you get a better idea of whether it's been delivered correctly or not. So then all your excuse me. So as you select the invoice now, it'll say the history of the email that was sent. Likewise, it'll do the same for that one there. I did deal with them both at the same time, but it is logged independently. So you should see per invoice every single step that's taken to chase an invoice, whether received, chasing email 1, chasing email 2, chasing email 3, and so on. So what is email 1, 2, and 3? Well, that's all based around what we call collection paths. Okay, these collection paths are customizable. Yeah, I've decided to create something for today's presentation. I've called it a custom collection path, and it's made up of multiple steps. So these multiple steps are defined down here. So I've only got 3 at the moment, but I'm going to add a couple more in just a minute. So I'd love for these to go out every day at 2 p.m. So that's me set them up there. The reason why I do it at 2 p.m. is because my colleague Thomas, he does all the cash receipts for me, and he does that in Sage. So that doesn't change. You'll continue to do your cash allocations in Sage. Your chasing is done in Credit Hound. That's the difference. So I'm only interested in transactions over $500, you could say. Or maybe the flip side is I only want to chase transactions over $5,000 and under $10,000. Anything beyond $10,000, I may decide to chase manually myself. But again, that is completely up to you. I'm not going to put an upper limit for now. Okay, so the first one is green because it's before the due date. So we just take a quick look at what I've got set up. So before due date, 10 days, which email template am I using? It's the preemptive reminder. So that's a pretty friendly worded one. Straight away. So let's take a quick look at that email template. Yep, I'm sending you just this email just to remind you the following outstanding invoices will be due for payment shortly. It's very British, I know, very friendly. You could be a lot stronger than that if you wanted to be, but like I say, it's completely customizable. You choose the wording. We've just given you a kickstart. Next one in this list is 7 days past due. Let's check out the wording on that one. Following outstanding invoices and now overdue for payment. You could say overdue payment by X days. That's fine too. And as per the title, 7 days past due. 30 days, and then the next one might be 60 days. And now I'm going to use the strong overdue. So I was going to put something like, we will have to refer you to our legal department or something like that. But again, that's a very common thing actually when someone's that overdue, depending on your industry that you're in, of course, as well. I'll save that. So these are all set now. I've turned this collection path on, so that's all ready to roll. Okay. And that will now run from tomorrow for 2 p.m. But it'll only run for those customers that have this auto chasing turned on. So like I said, if there's any customers that you don't want those automated emails to go to, just hit that toggle switch and they won't get it. So what do we do for these customers that are exempted? Well, this is where, like I did on that previous example, is we'll select the invoices manually like that and send maybe one email detailing them all there. Now it could be that the customer's nice, yeah, and they've actually phoned you way before you've even chased them. So that'd be nice, wouldn't it? So you select the 3 invoices. You can just quickly add a note, add some correspondence. and that'll be saved against all 3 transactions there. It could be that a week's passed and actually they didn't pay you when they said they were going to pay you, and that's when, yes, you could just send one of those quick emails and you're away. But then you've got your note that you added here, but then you've got the email that you added here as well. So that's your audit. Obviously, you can chase an invoice multiple times quite easily. Any more generic notes for this particular customer, you tend to put them here. Any notes against the invoice, you would select the invoice and just hit the email or add note button there. Okay, so hopefully you're getting the gist that this is really intuitive, really easy to use, and you'll be up and running in no time at all. Now, looking at my age receivables screen, this is where we're going to provide you just a big list of debt by aging there. And what this does is we'll just highlight anyone that's really past due, like that one there. And it could be that this customer, we don't have the automated chasing on, and that's just alarm bells for me to go in and start chasing this invoice. So again, whether you're viewing it on the dashboard, whether you're viewing it on the customer age debt receivables, you shouldn't be missing a trick. But this is the thing to keep a close eye on, is your total as a whole, and if there's any email address issues there, and also keeping an eye on here as to what messages are coming back. So as soon as that customer receives your reminder email and they hit the reply button, you're going to get an alert there. Okay, so I think that's a quick overview from me. I'm very interested to hear if you've got any questions, or if you want to find out a bit more about the product. But what I can say is, the product connects seamlessly to Sage. It's you're going to be up and running, maybe faster than you even think you are. It's not a typical solution where it's going to require a development or anything like that. It's all out of the box. Okay, I'll just see if Rick, you got any questions coming in from the audience?
Yeah, thanks a lot, Richard. Those messages always sound nicer when there's a British accent. So, there are a couple of questions here. So I know you've talked about the ease. So as far as maybe going into a little bit more detail of how the setup would work, what is involved there?
Yeah. So as we're all seeing right now, Credit Hound is accessed via web browser. So we're all wondering, how's it getting the data from Sage? So yeah, it does require us to install a component, an application on the Sage 100 server. So that then will communicate to Credit Hound. So to install that component, or to add that service onto the server, it's a next kind of application.
Okay.
There'll be a particular privilege that the application needs to connect to Sage 100, but again, it's very easy to follow. And in fact, we include some documentation around how we connect up to Sage 100 within the help file as well. So you've always got something to refer to. But again, this is where no doubt, Rick, the team will assist your customers with getting up and running. But it's very quick.
Gotcha. Yeah. So then once it's set up and it's a syncing process, that you can decide on how frequent, or?
Yeah, it's a good question. So you can basically go into here and instigate a sync right now.
Okay, so that's like a sync now type of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, right, okay. And then there'd be some setting as part of the setup that said do it every evening or every so often.
Right, and that's on the Sage 100 server side.
Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, sounds pretty easy. From a license standpoint, there's questions on here. I think I know the answer to this, but the license, you don't need a Sage license, right?
No, that's correct. Because Credit Hound's connected direct to your Sage 100 server, then no, all you're doing is accessing Credit Hound via the browser, and you're not going to necessarily need to be a Sage licensed user. No.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Now, this isn't a question, but it just came to mind since we're talking about licenses, and I know we didn't talk about this in our prep, Richard. So, so pricing, because I know when we talked about this before, it's really straightforward, and maybe you could share the pricing.
Yeah, so it's pretty simple. I mean, you basically buy it per named user license. So if I just get the pricing up myself, 1 second. You basically start off at $80 per user. Okay.
So that's 80 per month.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then if you wanted, say, Credit Hound to link to another company, so if you had, say, 2 companies within your operations, then it would just be an extra $40 a month to connect to that secondary company.
Okay.
So
For the same person.
Exactly. Yeah. So your starter bundle essentially is 1 user, 1 company, and that's for $80 a month.
Okay. And then if you have a couple of, let's say, 2 named users, but 1 company, then it's the 160.
Let's check. So no, it'd actually be 120. So the first user is 80, and the additional full user would be an extra 40 on top, so making 120 for 2 users, 1 company.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm glad we covered that, because I know when when we here at Martin Associates were introduced to this and heard about the pricing, I think it's a pretty slick system, and people can get in and start using it at a pretty reasonable price. So
no, exactly that. I mean, for the work, or not much work to get it up and running. There's a lot of solutions out there which require a lot of time of setup, installation, scoping, and so on, where we don't have any of that, which is great. So sometimes when people look at software, it's about the total cost of the software, isn't it? Total cost of ownership, and total cost of ownership for something like this is very low. We're obviously here on hand to help when need be, but we like to think that a customer could be up and running. Well, I can't say definite time, but very quickly, no doubt.
Yeah. Good. And then, so there's a question here about versions, and I know we were talking about that a little bit ahead of time. Since this is, I know you guys have been around for a while, and we're working with Sage, and so now you're plugging into Sage 100. So, we're kind of introducing this to our customer base at the early stage here of working with Sage 100. But it's safe to say that that any current supported version of Sage 100, which would right now be basically version 2018, 19, and 2020, is supported. And as we follow up with our customers, I might be coming back to you if they have a off version, and then we can figure out the compatibility from there.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right.
Let me see here. That's all that I see out there in the Q&A. So.
Okay. Well, any questions that come up after this session, if there's anyone watching this on a recording, do drop the team at Martin Associates an email. Likewise, I'll leave my email on the screen to share with you, and I'll always circle back to Martin Associates with any questions I receive, because they'll be you're our reseller. So that's how we work.
All right. Well, thank you for the great presentation. I know you're it's dinner time there where you are, so I'll let you go, and I appreciate your time. And So thanks to everybody on the webinar. Appreciate your time today. And as I said, we'll be following up with some information and link to the recording, etc. So hope everybody has a good day. And Richard, you too.
Thank you very much.
We have
Rick, and
one
thank you, Betsy.
question that just came in.
I
Sorry.
just see that. Yeah.
Yeah. They just want to know if it's contracted month to month or if it's an annual contract.
So yeah, I believe it. Oh, I'll have to double check actually. So it can be either. I believe. So you know, if it's something that you want to even run for a single month, just to try it out, then we can do that. But I think typically it'll be an annual contract. But we can suit around you.
Yeah. So I'll get back to you, Rhonda, and when we follow up, I'll get that answer, I guess, a little bit more specific, because I see where you're going with that. It's a good way to maybe only know that you're not on the hook for a whole year if you're going to try it out. So.
Yeah, indeed. So we'll share the pricing with you, and we'll give you an idea of sort of the setup time as well for you. Just give you more indicative costs for everything.
Gotcha.
Lovely.
Awesome. All right.
Great question. Thank you. And
yeah.
Have a good day, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
It's great to be here. Thank you.
Great. Everybody stay safe. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.